everybody, and welcome back to Reflecting Shakespeare TV. My name is Erika, and I'm a manager and facilitator for the Old Globe's Reflecting Shakespeare program, which is a transformative performing arts program that we bring inside to people experiencing incarceration. We've got a great show for you today, and we're really happy that you're back with us. If you are watching on social media and can help us tell our story of its impact and importance, can you take 2 minutes to click the link in the comments there and let us know? Thanks. All right, let's not take any more time with this. This video program is designed to go inside while we cannot. So let's do this. And let me bring on my co-hosts, James and Niki. Hey, you two.
Hello, here we are. We are back at it. Hi, everyone. My name is Niki, and I'm back. Yay! So I have the honor of being able to work on this amazing team for the Old Globe, Reflecting Shakespeare. I love it. I'm a returning citizen and been home now for a whole 2 years after serving 25 consecutive years. So it's a gift to be here.
All right. Hey, thank you, Niki. Hey, Erika. Hey, everybody. It's great to see you. So my name is James. I'm a facilitator on the Reflecting Shakespeare program at the Old Globe. But without further ado, let's welcome our guest to the Old Globe's VIP suite for today. Let's say hello to Nadine.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
Here I am. Hi, guys.
Yeah. Hey, Nadine. It's so great to have you with us today. So can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself, please?
Yes, so I'm formerly incarcerated. I did almost 22 years in prison. I've been out since 2016. And in that time, I've managed to rank up in my company 3 times. I've ranked up, and I'm currently a program director. Yes, and the best news, I'm getting off parole.
Yes. Come on.
Wow. Hey, so thank you, Nadine. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it. All right, so it looks like we are all here, including those of you able to watch with us today. So we're going to ask you to journal along with us as we're working today. So we invite you to get something to write with if you can.
All right. And so here we go. Let's do it. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, check-ins for the week. What are your challenges and triumphs? Folks watching, this is where we always start. Take stock with us. For those on screen, you know, we got to keep it lean.
All right, I'll start. So my low is I realized that I would have benefited more from staying in school. That's all. Just gonna throw that out there. My high is that we got our responses back from some of the folks on the inside, and it has been amazing. So it's feeling super connected to them for sure. Nadine?
My low is I think that I'm very overworked lately, but my high is that I am working. James?
Yes. My low is I have been feeling disconnected, I think, from my family who is spread out in different parts of the world, who I would love to be able to see outside of my digital box. And I'm going to jump on Niki's high. So we got some respondents for our correspondence course we're working on right now. And it was great to see some and hear from some familiar names and meet some new folks at the same time while we're doing that. Erika, what about you?
Okay, my low is that for our correspondence course, I've been managing and not writing my own article. And now my low is that I'm jealous of all the responses, everyone, that Niki and James got. They wrote articles. My high is also reading all these responses and also being able to celebrate the 50th golden birthday of my dear boss and human being who made all of this programming start. Celebrate Freedom Bradley Valentine of the Old Globe.
Yes.
Okay, so for all of you out there, what are your challenges and triumphs this week? We invite you to warm up your writing with that prompt.
All right, let's get warmed up. Let's get ready to work together. So our warm-up today is going to be called My Beat Today Is. So take a moment to consider your day. Is there a particular rhythm, a beat that is underscoring your day, moving you forwards, motivating you? We're each going to come up with it, and then we're going to sing it, we're going to bash it out, and then we're going to get it given back to us, kind of like a call and response. All right, so I'll kick it off, and I'm going to go first. My name is James, and my beat today is boom, 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 boom.
My
My
name is James,
James,
and my beat today
is boom,
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 boom, boom,
boom,
boom,
boom,
boom.
boom. All right. My name is Niki, and my beat today is.
My
My
name
name is
Miss
Niki,
Nikki.
and
and
my
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 beat
beat
today is.
is. My name is Nadine, and my beat today is.
my name
My
name is
name is
Nadine,
Nadine, and
my
beat
beat today
is.
My name is Erika, and my beat today is.
Ooh.
My
My
name
name is
is
Erika,
Erica, and
and
my
my
My beat
today
today is.
Boom. All right, and now it's your turn watching out there. So let's hear those beats. Yeah,
Love it.
awesome.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, so
Thanks everyone for participating in that warm-up game. It's always a fun way to come out of your shell and get to know everyone else around you.
yes, well, all right, now that we've warmed up our sense of play, let's get into our work. For this series of Reflecting Shakespeare TV, we are exploring Shakespeare's comedy, Much Ado About Nothing. And I'm pausing on comedy because we're at a part of the story where it's a little messy. Less comedy and more dramedy. All right. As always, our goal is to have fun with the story, but then dig into how what's going on with the characters relates to us personally right here, right now. So friends, help set up the story. A lot has happened.
I will get us going. So it was all love, roses, and sweet confetti from the sky with Hero and Claudio. Our shy young lovers made it all the way to the altar to be married. But because Don John had poisoned Claudio's mind with a false plot that made it look like Hero was sleeping with another man, Claudio went ballistic, pushing her down during their own wedding and accusing her publicly of being just a loose woman.
And because Don John's false scheme was so well planned, Claudia and Don Pedro thought that they had both seen it with their own eyes. They spoke out against Hero, ruining her good name. Like, Hero is completely powerless and distraught. She collapses to the ground, and her accusers just left her there, presumed to be dead.
But Hero wakes up, and when she does, the priest suggests a plan. The family should act like Hero is indeed dead. Claudio will repent his accusation. The gossip around town will be about losing Hero rather than her downfall. And hopefully this will always buy time to find proof of the truth that Hero had been slandered.
All right, so this is the agreed plan, and everyone leaves the chapel except for Beatrice and Benedick. Now remember, Beatrice is Hero's cousin and best friend, and Benedick is Claudio's best friend. And the two of them have been bickering since the start of the play, but recently they both overheard that the other loves them. And this is actually a trick being played on them, but we'll see if this trick works to wake these two up to how they actually feel about each other. All right, so let's get into the scene. So James, will you play Benedict? And Nadine, will you play Beatrice? And okay, let's get into the vibe. This is the calm after the storm. Hero's just been escorted out of the chapel. Beatrice, who's been really a hard-edged gal up till now, she's kind of alone in the space and weeping. And Benedict approaches her.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yeah, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
You have no reason. I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Ah, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
A very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
Is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in this world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not, it were as possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not, and yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it, I protest, I love thee.
Why? Then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
All right. So let's stop and unpack and make sure we know what happened. So what happened in that scene?
Beatrice had been crying and says that she needs a man's help.
Benedict asks how a man could be such a friend.
And then what? He admits he loves her.
And she admits she was going to tell him that she loves him. What?
Whoa.
All right, everyone. So what's coming up for you with this scene? What are you thinking about?
Well, I don't know. I just want to jump in and say that there's that strange thing happening where there's this awful thing that's happened, like it's total chaos and devastation. And yet in the middle of all that, there's this moment where these two maybe suddenly really see that other person, right? And go kind of have like that, oh my God, it's you kind of moment, right? That's what stands out for me.
I think for me, it's like a banter between them at first, and they want to say it, but they're not. And then at the end, they just can't hold on to it anymore. And it's like, I love you. This is it.
Right.
You know, but it's getting to that point that is hard for them.
I think the one thing that stands out for me is knowing the history and them going back and forth, right? With that teenage middle school, like, you know, Beatrice being all super witty. What it kind of makes me think of and reflect on is, right, like, so now the situation and the timeline is completely different. Like Beatrice is really mourning Hero, right? She's like in a desperate state of hurt and pain. And it's some type of relief that we want to get from experiencing that. And so what's the counter of that, right? Something love, confetti, something of something that's going to be able not to say to put a Band-Aid on it, but to give some type of relief of some type of pain. I need some type of feel good that's going to make this feel just a little bit better. I don't care what it is. And it's you. It's you, the one that I've been jabbing at. It's you, the one that, you know, and I think it allows me to think of so many times, especially on the inside, when we're going through so much of life's tragedies and we're in this painful state, and we're so emotionally vulnerable and so emotionally desperate to feel something different, which allows us to create such solid connections with folks on the inside. That's really kind of what's standing out to me, is her hurt, her pain, and her wanting some type of relief. And here it is with this man that, you know, she's had some type of attraction towards, and fought it, and, you know, gone against everything that she said she was going to do. But really, in all actuality, as we discussed in the past, it's just that defense mechanism, you know. And now she's so vulnerable and hurting so bad that she's just let it all. I'm just hurting, you know, and I just need to feel something different, better, relief.
Sorry, Nadine. Go ahead.
I just was going to say, especially for her, I think it would have had to have taken a lot to ask for help, especially from this man or any man, you know. So I think that speaks volumes in itself.
Well, that is a segue to what I was thinking, Nadine, because I have kind of a different take than what Niki, I mean, it's the same thing that Niki was saying, but it's a different take on it, which is what I heard from you, Nadine, when you were reading Beatrice this time, was real sense of like helplessness, feeling like you're really alone and there's no one to help you with this problem. And then what is love about if it's not about helping the person you love when they're down? So in fact, it's like the perfect opening to express that love, because actually, if love is really about giving and caring and uplifting the other person, that is just a great invitation for Benedick to get over himself and be his true self, right? And which is someone who loves and wants to love, and that's what he declared in the earlier scenes. I have a nerdy Shakespeare-y thing that I love at the end of the scene, which is the play on the word protest, meaning like to say against, and also to express. So when you say to protest one's love, meaning to like declare it to the world, and then so Beatrice has this line at the end that she's, you know, she doesn't have enough anything left in her heart to no, I can't say it. I'm going to cut this bit, but because it's too Shakespeare nerdy. But I do love the end of this text when she says, "I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest." So after playing on the play of words, I just, you know, it's just one of those Shakespeare. You're so good. Okay. I love how she says that though. Like, I love you with so much of my heart that I have no heart left to speak against it. Like I've been doing for the first, you know, half of this play for several hours. Does anyone else have anything they're thinking about this with this half of the scene?
I guess I just wonder, in this scene, are we starting to meet the real Beatrice and Benedick? Maybe we just met their like damaged or outwardly difficult selves so far in this play.
Or maybe just another facet of them that they keep hidden, right? All of those parts can be part of their real self, but how much freer they can be when they allow also their vulnerabilities to show.
Right.
I think that's the biggest thing is, you know, with every different emotion, so to speak, or every different life's course of, you know, milestones, because this might not be her milestone, but it's something that she's experiencing as with that pain, you know, taking, how do you deal with that? How do you handle that? How do you cope with that? What's the next, what if, especially if it's new, you know, it's like cultivating that new behavior, that new character, and how you're going to romp on in the world now with this different sense of emotion and this different sense of being. And really, in all actuality, it's her just experiencing a really different thing, you know, in life. Hey, thanks for sticking with us, guys. Don't forget about the opportunity to have your voice heard and help keep this kind of programming alive and thriving and ever improving by clicking the link in the comments and letting us know about your experience watching. 2 thumbs up, we'll take them. Thanks. That leads us into our quick rights. Come on, we got to do something here about love and positive feeling of love and love and love and more love. Now we're just throwing it out into the universe. A little bit more love and a little bit more love and a little bit more love. So when you think of love, right, and all of its forms, there are so many levels of love, but there's so many things, people, and ideas to love, right? It can be an abstract idea, love. It could be a feeling, it could be a lifestyle, an unfamiliar experience even. So how would you give the word love a meaning? So we're going to provide you with the acronym, the L, the O, the V, the E. And what would that look like for you? And so what you'll do is you will write something beginning with each one of those letters. The L, the O, the V, the E. Bring it in hot, folks, and send those responses back to us so that we could share those.
All right, so let's get back into the scene. Let's just back it up a smidge and hear some of that love stuff before we hear what happens next.
I love you with so much in my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone. Though I am here, there is no love in you. Nay, I pray you, let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thy enemy?
He is not approved in the height of villain, that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman. Oh, that I were a man! What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands? And then, with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor? Oh God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out at a window? A proper saying?
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princess in counties, surely a princely testimony, a goodly count. Count Comfect, a sweet gallant, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valor, into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules, that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Very good, Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul that Count Claudio have wronged Hero?
Yeah, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so, farewell.
Woo! Yes, that
Yes.
was awesome. That was so good. Oh my gosh, my mind is racing about so many things to think about. But before we discuss what just happened there, let's just unpack and make sure everyone got what happened there. So let's go around and unpack the scene.
We're going to unpack the scene. So Beatrice asked Benedick to kill Claudio for slandering Hero, breaking her heart and undoing her.
At first, Benedict protests. He's not going to go against his friend. And he questions whether Claudio has really wronged anyone. Beatrice mocks him that it's easier to be friends with her than fight with her enemies.
And Beatrice speaks passionately about the power of men and their ability to wield that power to destroy a woman's life with just a word and to go unquestioned. She despairs over not having that power that comes with being a man, so she could avenge Hero herself.
Hearing this, Benedict agrees to challenge Claudio, and he leaves Beatrice, promising to go with the plan, pretend that Hero is dead, and challenge Claudio for killing her with his slander.
Oh, yes. And he says, think of me what you hear of me. Like, you're going to hear that I've done the right thing. I've done right by you. Oh my gosh. What are you guys thinking about? Talk to me.
This scene is so powerful. Like you can feel, like I know reading it, I felt her and just everything, the hate that she feels towards Claudio. Like you took her from me and now you have to be dealt with. And then the disappointment that Benedict wasn't going to help her. Like, I felt disappointed. Like, you say you love me, but you're not going to do this.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, it reminds me of a time in my own life when somebody was like that with me, and it ended up leading me to prison for life because they wanted me to participate in this crime that turned into a murder and use the love that I had for them against me to force my hand into committing the crime.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think that's such a powerful thing here. And we're in the middle of this love bubble. Shakespeare sets us up to think we're in cotton candy land. And there's something real about that, about when a relationship can become manipulative in such a dark way, because you think you're in cotton candy land, and then, or one can, that love does that. And then to be thrown that in the middle of it. Whoo.
Well, I think it's so extreme because in that first moment, is there a moment where they're like, oh my God, I love you, it's you, right? And they're in that place for a second. And as an audience, we're like, oh my God, at last, thank you, right? Yes. And then this kind of pulls the rug out from under that, which is kind of like, well, what is any of that worth, right? Really, because we need to fix this, right? This kind of trumps that. And if you're not going to come through for me right now, then that whole other thing we just did, forget it.
It makes me wonder if maybe this was a setup from the beginning on Beatrice's part. Like if now that her cousin has died or was slandered and all this other stuff, maybe she's setting this up for Benedict to kill Claudio. Maybe her love isn't really love.
Ooh.
I could see how you're feeling that with this scene as a slice. And when you're watching the story as a whole, this whole like slander to this moment, everyone gets blindsided and it's hard. But so my thought is it's probably not a scheme, but I would say it raises a great question, Nadine, about can a request like this come when you're experiencing real love? One of the things I heard in the scene while it was going on was simply the powerlessness of Beatrice, who is such a smart individual. And it makes me think beyond the gender politics about when you are in a part of a disenfranchised group and you cannot make something happen on your own and you need help. In this case, it's for a murder, so I can't really get behind it, but to make things right, let's just say, just the huge energetic impact of that and the balance of power. And that's what I was really feeling from from your read, man. I was so into it. Thank you for that beautiful
Well,
read.
I think part why to me when I was in the scene, part of the heartbreak of that scene is to see her struggling with her powerlessness because we've seen her as powerful, right? We've seen her command the room with her wit and her charm and her use of words and all that stuff. And she knows she has that. She knows she can do that, right? And this is a moment where all of her weapons, all of her tools, all of those things that she's able to bring to the table, they can't do anything for her here, right? So I was just thinking about a million ways, big or small, where even personally, like I felt powerless or I felt not able to cope with something. I don't have the things that I need to have. Maybe I don't even know what I need to have, right? To get me through that next moment or to deal with something that might be coming up, I feel like in here, she's kind of like paddling really fast, just trying to keep herself together.
Yeah, I think the thing that's so interesting, I like what you had said, Erica, as far as, the vulnerability of, and then combining with what James said throughout this whole time, Beatrice has been able to portray, right, a sense of strong, empowered womanhood, right? And she's at this point right now to where she's in so much pain and she's feeling so vulnerable that she feels like her as a woman does not obtain the capacity to handle what needs to be done. And I think when I think about what it is that she's experiencing, I think about the intensity of the emotion that she's feeling, the intensity of the pain, right? And how we want a solution from that. We need a solution from that. And it's true when it's out of our power and it's out of our element and we start to feel so powerless, we get to the point, and as I believe that as human beings, we get to the point to where it functions from a place of desperation. It takes us to the next level, right? And so I believe, for me, how I see it is if she didn't feel, in my mind, if she didn't feel so powerless, if she didn't feel so innate, if she didn't feel just so inferior, right, that she wouldn't go to the extreme of having to overpower this fake sense of Claudio, she would just probably want to knock him down a notch, right? But I don't know if she would want to go to the extremes of taking him all the way out. But the magnitude of what she's feeling equates to the magnitude of what her ask is. And I feel like that's what just is standing out to me so blatantly. And so I think of the times that I have felt desperate and wanting, and the times that I have felt powerless, and how I had just gone above and beyond for some type of relief from that, and how it just created so much devastation and chaos in situations that didn't warrant that type of response, and so that's kind of really what's standing out to me is, and then, like we're talking about the love component of it, right? And we're talking about how, in the beginning, when you think about the play, Benedict and Beatrice were so adamant about, love is not for me. I don't want it. Why? Now they're experiencing it. They're confessing it. They're protesting it, right? To where so much so to where they're just letting their heart go with it. And then maybe this is their first experience with it. Maybe there was hurt in the past or whatever that might look like. But because this is a new venture for them, how drastically quickly it becomes so toxic, right? The toxic ask in it of these new different emotions with all of the other culmination of emotions that are going on. And so I think that's kind of like all of those different things are really, really standing out to me. And from life experiences, just being able to relate and to connect with those types of emotions, with those types of actions, with those types of desperations, and wanting those solutions and that relief. And so it's just really speaking loud to me right now.
Yeah, it's like such an extreme scene. And I feel like their relationship has been so intertwined, like in the past with whatever's been going on between them and all that backbiting. And then here they are in this moment. It's suddenly like they fast forwarded through years of relationships somehow into this moment. And I feel like also, Niki, what you were saying about how we react to like those different situations, and it seems like there's no middle ground reasonable choice to be had. It's either I'm going all in or it's nothing, right? And then what's the after effect of if you don't do anything, but what's the comeback if you go all in? Because I don't think there, for me, when I read it, there's not like a let's sit down and talk about it, right? It's either nothing or I'm going full on.
And you know what makes me think about that is like people that go all in, especially with life, right? It's because we lack the experience of understanding that there is a middle ground. There is nuance there. There is other ways to approach life and deal and handle things in life. But really, when we lack those experiences and we lack that knowledge, it's either all the way on or all the way off. It's those extremes ultimately is what creates so many problems, but it's not knowing and having those life experiences that can show you there is a balance. There is something in the middle. There are all of these different other opportunities. It doesn't necessarily have to be all the way in, all the way out.
I feel like sometimes for us, speaking personally, sometimes that's the hardest place to find, right? Because I can freak out and go up here. I can definitely be really quiet and kind of inactive, but to get to that nuanced middle space that you were just talking about, I don't know. I think that's hard.
That's that emotional intelligence right there.
Right.
Really, in all actuality, that's what that is.
I wanted to throw it to Nadine, who got the first word in, and now we're cooking. I'm wondering if she's got some current thoughts.
I absolutely agree. Like this, the emotional intelligence, everything that you guys are saying is just spot on. Like, kind of overwhelmed. The scene was just so relatable to every day, you know, and the struggles that we have. And what do you do in that moment? Claudio, does Claudio get killed? You know, is this love so great and her pain that Benedict is seeing so much that he's going to do anything for her to make that pain go away? You know, because ultimately in a relationship, that's what we want. We don't want to see the person that we love hurting, you know? And so at that point, there's so many decisions to make about what it is that I'm going to do to help you, to protect you. And here you are, you asked for help. In the earlier scene, Beatrice asked for help. And this is how she's saying, help me, please. You want my pain to go away, help me. You want to protect me, this is how you do it. And it's so relatable.
Right. Yeah. And then I would say, just to tag on to what you said beautifully, Nadine, then there's that whole that, and here's the ask. But if you do that and he does that, what pain not only does he put onto someone else, Claudio, right? But also then what happens to him, right? What's the collateral damage across the board out of that ask, right? If he does this thing, and then to expand it out from there, yeah, when you take on an ask from someone, there's the doing it, but what's the residue, right? What's that leftover?
Oh my God.
Absolutely, the ripple effect.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm thinking about how Nadine was like, what happens? You know, does he kill Claudio? And I love that, you know, as the audience member or all the, you know, what I love about the live theater, you have the whole room full of people all wondering, all not knowing, and also knowing we've got this more measured Friar's plan kind of like happening. Hope, which is a stall tactic to see if we can get the truth uncovered. And we're going to find out, I guess, like what's going to happen first. You know, we've got all these different plans with all these emotions flying. And I was just looking back through the text, and, you know, I personally can't relate to the inner dynamics of the specifics of the scene. But when Beatrice speaks about kind of railing against a machine, a power structure, and being powerless. Like, I feel that 100%, is, especially in the past year, when you feel like, what is even truth? And I'm just, the word line that is railing with me is, he is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. Tells a lie and says, this is the truth. And I feel like, we've been living in a world of that, and we continue to, and we will continue to, because of how the world has been, set in motion. And whoa. So, any final thoughts before we move into reflection? Because this has been deep, fast, and heavy, right? We're all like,
It's been a real whirlwind moment. Like, I'm disoriented, like I'm properly disoriented. We were up here, now we're down there, then it kind of exploded out like that. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like the ground is shifting, like it's all moving.
yeah, what is Shakespeare doing, putting a tragedy in the middle of a comedy? Like, I'm waiting for this comedy to come back. I don't feel like it can come back.
That was an amazing conversation. And whether we realize it or not, a lot of times those are our secret silent gifts that are needed conversations. So thank you so much for listening. What that leads us right into is our reflection question. So what has been the most difficult thing you have ever asked someone to do, and or that you have been asked to do to show your loyalty or your love? So we'll repeat the writing prompt on the scene at the end of the program if you didn't get enough time to write it all down. And on another note, thinking about what Beatrice is asking Benedick to do, there's some type of justice that she wants done or served, right? So the next reflection question is, has there been a time that you were willing to go against your moral code to pursue a form of justice? So this is an opportunity for y'all to share on the reflection questions. And even as I say those reflection questions and I ask, I think of so many different times that I have gone against my moral code, sometimes not even understanding what my own moral code was, because I was willing to alter my moral code for a fake pursuit of justice or for a place of acceptance and validation, because that meant more to me than actual justice. Right. So I wanted to share that, because there's so many times that we're going through life and we're learning what our moral codes are. Sometimes we're developing new moral codes. We're developing what justice might look like. And all justice is not good justice. There's a lot of injustices that are considered justices. And that's what the systems, that's what those things that we end up creating, that could be with prison politics, whatever that might look like. So I just wanted to share that, because I feel like it's really important how I'm able to sit here now and I'm able to reflect, golly, I went against so many different of my own personal moral codes as a pursuit of somebody else's justice, so to speak, and how much harm I ended up creating and devastation I created as a result of that. And so this wasn't just an opportunity for me to hold myself to some sort of accountability.
Thank you, Niki. What a way to bring this to a sweet close. So because that was such a sweet close, let's call it. Guess what, guys? That's the end of the episode.
No, this was getting so thick. I love it.
I want to rewind and hear those beautiful performances again. Ah.
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you, Nadine.
Yes,
right,
thank you,
folks.
Nadine.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So look, if you've made it all the way to the end of this episode, you are a dedicated viewer and your input is truly valued. So thank you. Let us know about your journey to this point in the program by clicking that link in the comments. All right. So we're going to end our class the way we always end in person, and that is with a one-word checkout describing how we feel right now at this moment. Niki, I'm going to throw it to you.
Yes.
Whirlwind.
Unbelievable.
Pumped up.
And everyone watching, what's your word? All right. And now, thank you for that word. We'll take it, we'll absorb it, we'll chew on it, we'll put it right here in a special place. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Right now, we're going to clap 1, 2, 3. And on that 4th beat, we're going to come together in sync like this. Woo, woo, woo. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's what perfection looks like, people. Yes.
Goodbye, everybody. Let's take a moment to say bye-bye. All right. See you next time.